Black History Month.
Right now at 5, how Joplin kindergartners are trying to make enrollment easier than ever.
And we've got ourselves a warm and breezy day out there to celebrate Valentine's Day. Well, look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, why the proposal to censure a Carthage City Hall member was no longer on last night's council agenda.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
I'm Chris Warner, so...
Happy Valentine's Day, Chris.
Happy Valentine's Day. I wore the red tie, you wore an orange dress.
It's red.
I'm kidding. It's red.
And it's for the Chiefs because that parade is coming up.
Today. It's
right?
Valentine's Day. It is a busy day.
A lot happening
here in the Heartland, that is for sure. And then it's going to be really warm and very windy today as well. So let's take a quick look outside. This is our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. It is looking very nice. It's a bit breezy now. It'll be even breezier later. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line, also looking pretty good so far. This is that weird part of the day up until about 6:30 where there's hardly anyone, and right now there's no one on the roadways, which it's so crazy how quickly these roads will fill up today. Taking a look at temperatures around the area, as we mentioned, we were going to be warmer this morning than we were yesterday, and we are. A lot of upper 30s out there. Save Iola, for example, 34, 33 in Stockton, 31 J, 30 Grove, Miami, but for the most part, we're in the mid to upper 30s across the area, and again, we should be in the mid 20s, so it's not bad, and we're looking to be about 38 when the kids get on the bus this morning, south breeze at 5 to 10, and some of the kids I know only have a half day today. Mine only have a half day today. I think I know why, but we won't go into those details. But for the rest of you, by this afternoon when the bus brings them home, low 60s at south wind gusting to 25. And then remember, later this evening, it will be gusting upwards of around 40 to 45 miles an hour. As for your Valentine's Day, we are looking at highs in the low to mid 60s out there. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be breezy. A relatively pleasant day in general. We'll have another full look at your forecast. We'll talk about some rain, maybe even the possibility of a little wintry mix, and how the temperatures are going to be bouncing around over the next few days in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. We were just talking about our weekend anchor, Elise Noe, and so I said, that's not who you are. Your name is Caitlin, right? Okay, good. Caitlin, we're going to send it back to you, and I'm going to go get more coffee.
All right. Thanks, Doug. Well, Joplin School District has begun its kindergarten pre-enrollment. Parents who will have children attending kindergarten this fall can expect to have a list of forms and state-required materials to fill out. KOAM's Anthony Saviallo went to Irving Elementary yesterday to see how schools are making this process as easy as possible for parents.
Irving Elementary is just one of 10 Joplin elementary schools getting ready for a new round of kindergartners this fall.
It's that time of year again. We welcome our newest Eagles into the school district, and enrollment. Kindergarten enrollment is kicked off. It is live on our website, and that's joplinschools.org. And parents, we just ask you to go on there, and there's a pre-enrollment piece of that to enroll. And then you'll receive an email with further details that they can finish the enrollment process.
For parents who are having to handle all this for the first time, Irving Elementary Secretary Darla Lee says there's nothing to stress about.
Not to get stressed about it, that it's just simple, basic information, just the normal stuff that you already have, so no need to stress. We have a lot of time. We can get it all here and get them started on time.
Handling hundreds of names every year can be overwhelming, but Darla says she has the full support of her peers and administrators.
We couldn't ask for any better staff or administration here at Irving. Everyone works as a team, helps each other know what information is we still need or what the other person needs to help to finish each area. But yeah, I couldn't ask for anything any better.
Despite being one of the busiest times of the year, Principal Adkins says that his focus is always on his students.
Oh my goodness, there's lots of things going on this time of year, and I mean we're a couple months away from state testing, things like that, but we always want to just stay focused on welcoming our newest Eagles to the district.
Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Once parents complete the enrollment process, they'll be able to set up an appointment for kindergarten screening that will take place from March 25th to April 5th. And a proposal to censure a Carthage City Hall member apparently wasn't on yesterday's council meeting. You might recall this Carthage City Council meeting drew a packed house last month when the council considered censuring member Tiffany Cossey. At that time, the council postponed taking action, saying that the matter would be brought up at the next meeting. However, the issue was not on last night's agenda. City Administrator Greg Dagnan tells us that the council is working on a settlement in this issue. We contacted Cossey yesterday. She tells us she's still waiting for more information herself. And a reporter for a Kansas newspaper that police raided last year filed a federal lawsuit yesterday against the paper's hometown and local officials, saying that the raid caused her physical and mental health problems. Marion County Record reporter Phyllis Zorn is seeking $950,000 in damages from the city of Marion, its former mayor, the county commission, and various law enforcement officials. The lawsuit calls them co-conspirators who deprived her of press and speech freedoms and the protection from unreasonable police searches guaranteed by U.S. Constitution. Authorities in Wichita make an arrest in the theft of a bronze Jackie Robinson statue. The statue, stolen from a youth baseball park last month, was found burned and dismantled in a trash can at another nearby park. Wichita police had arrested Rick Alderetti earlier this month for an unrelated charge. He was charged for the theft yesterday. Police say there was no evidence of a hate crime, but think the suspect intended to sell the metal for scrap. Wichita police say it was only the first arrest and there are more to come. Small businesses in rural Kansas affected by persistent drought will soon receive some help. 6 business resiliency boot camps will be offered in coming months. These boot camps will focus on business and marketing training and will be free for business owners to attend. The first boot camp is planned for March 1st at Neosho County Community College in Chanute. We have more details on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Yesterday, the Jasper Newton chapter of 100 Women Who Care donated $3,900 to Camp Childress. Camp Childress helps prepare for leadership through character building. While the camp can always use the funds, these particular funds will go to a specific use.
Well, we've got a real need here at the camp for a number of projects, but this one's focused mainly on finishing up our dining hall bathrooms project. We've got a dining hall that seats over 200 people, commercial kitchen, but restrooms are a little bit short with just one restroom. So we're going to build a 4 individual stall restroom with that money and make it more available to more diverse groups.
Since it was formed in 2018, the organization has donated more than $60,000 to local charities. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Missouri Southern Baseball continues its long homestand yesterday. We'll have the details. Plus, Notre Dame is one step closer to welcoming back tourists. We'll have the latest. And we have a warm and windy day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dow Quick, and I'm inviting you on a holiday vacation.
So call the box office. Don't miss this entertaining and mind-expanding Jurassic adventure live on stage.
Well, 2 months ago, Pitt State's new head football coach, Tom Anthony, added Mark Smith to his coaching staff as the Gorillas' wide receiver coach and passing game coordinator. That means Frontenac had a head coaching vacancy to fill. The Raiders are hiring a familiar face. The Frontenac School District announced yesterday it will hire Leon Miller as its next head football coach. He was head coach for the Raiders from 1989 to 2005. In that time, Frontenac won 74% of its games, took home the 1994 Class 2-1A state title, and had 2 runner-up finishes in 1992 and 2000. Miller has coached several other high school football teams in the 4 states, including Parsons, Girard, and Neosho. Most recently, he was an assistant at Warsaw. Well, Joplin High School alum and the 2019-2020 Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year, Isaiah Davis, has received an invite to the NFL Scouting Combine. Now, Davis just finished his senior year at South Dakota State and helped lead the Jackrabbits to a second consecutive FCS national championship. He rushed for more than 4,500 yards in his collegiate career to go with 50 touchdowns. The former Joplin Eagle is just one of 29 running backs in the country to be invited to the Combine, which takes place in Indianapolis at the end of this month. Missouri Southern baseball continues its long homestand yesterday afternoon. The Lions went 3-0 against Ouachita Baptist over the weekend, including yesterday. Southern has 6 more contests at Warren Turner Field through next week. Missouri Southern baseball, winners of 3 in a row in Joplin facing Oklahoma Baptist. First inning, runner on second. Henry Kuziak skies it deep right field. Outfielder loses it in the sun. It's over his head and over the wall for a 2-run homer. The Lions don't stop there. Later in the inning, Garrett Rice with 2 runners on hammers this down the line in left. And that's gone for a 3-run shot. Southern jumps out to a 5-0 lead. Kyle Camp gets the start for the Lions. He gets a strikeout swinging in the second, then another one looking. He finishes with 5 strikeouts and 2 earned runs in 4 innings. And the hit parade continues in the third. Tragan Parker laces a ground rule double down the line. 4 more Lions score that inning. Southern dominates Oklahoma Baptist. Final score 21-6. Game goes just 7 innings. Closing things out with Webb City Boys Hoops hosting Joplin. Cardinals looking to stay undefeated in COC play. So early in the first, Eagles making things tough. Trenton Gage gets it, and he nails the 3 off the corner. Eagles have a 7-point lead. And then check this out. Eagles look to score, but Omari Jackson barely blocks it. Cardinals get it. Baron Duda gets it. But Joplin's Whit Hafer blocks Duda's ball off the glass, and the crowd goes nuts. Defensive first quarter, Duda steals it, and he tries to score off the fast break, but it's blocked. Pace gets it and knocks it in for 2. Cardinals have their first lead. And then Whit Hafer makes his presence known by slamming in the dunk over Holton Keith. And that's as exciting as it got for the Eagles, though. Second half, Baron Duda was a monster. Omari Jackson steals it and passes to Duda, and he sinks the floater 3, and in 15 seconds, he does it again. Duda finishes with 36 points and 4 steals, and that helps lead Coach Horn to his 250th career win, and Webb City stays undefeated in the COC and at home. Cardinals win 73-43. Well, still to come, why one of the most commonly prescribed childhood asthma medications is no longer being manufactured in the U.S. Plus, we'll have another check of your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
The President's Day event at Metro means huge savings for you, like this Frigidaire French door refrigerator.
Meals on Wheels. Volunteer drivers needed.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:18 on this Wednesday morning, taking a live look at our camera on top of the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. Got a bit of a breeze out there, otherwise clear skies and not too bad. Chilly, but about 10, 12 degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year. MoDOT camera, 20th and range line. We can count the cars on the road. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now there's a few more showing up. But a second ago, we could count the number of cars. Otherwise, again, looking good. Wind is our main story between today and tomorrow. Now, as we head into the afternoon today, we'll see those winds gusting upwards of 25, potentially up to 30 miles an hour. It won't be until later in the evening and overnight that we're really going to start to see winds picking up. And we could see gusts overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, pushing 40, potentially as high as 45 miles an hour. We're still going to be breezy early tomorrow morning, and it won't be until the afternoon that we do eventually see these winds die back down as they shift out of the north and east. But during the day, today and into tonight, early part of our Thursday, they'll be out of the south. So they will usher in warm temperatures for us today. And then things are going to change a little bit once they shift out of the northeast and we get our next system in here. 39 in Joplin right now. Again, it is clear. Feels like 34 with a south breeze at 7 miles an hour. Again, temperatures around the region for the most part mid-upper 30s. We do have some lower 30s out there, but it is not a bad start to the day whatsoever. We'll have those sunny skies, breezy conditions, mid-50s by late morning, and heading into the afternoon, breezy, warm. We're talking low, mid-60s. Some of us may even reach the upper 60s as we head into the afternoon hours. As for tonight, another mild evening comparatively when we look at normals as we fall back into the low to mid 40s, mostly clear skies, and as we mentioned, it will remain breezy. It's as we head into Friday that things do end up changing a little bit for us, and we're going to start to see opportunities Friday morning for some showers, some light rain, and there is at least a momentary possibility of a wintry mix and maybe some light snow, primarily in the northern half of our area on Friday. We're not anticipating too much in the way of accumulations, and by the afternoon, this will be out of here, but in the first half of our Friday, could see a bit of a wintry mix out there. So tomorrow, a little cooler, mid-50s, partly cloudy. We're going low 40s Friday and Saturday, still pretty cool on Sunday, and as we head into the start of next week, temperatures back on the rise, upper 50s Monday, mid 60s by Tuesday. Let's check your forecast. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Thank you, four states, for voting for Aaron Sack.
Nova Village, providing homeless individuals with a private living space and the support to succeed.
Topping Health Watch this morning, doctors, nurses, and parents are scrambling now that one of the most commonly prescribed childhood asthma medications is no longer being manufactured in the U.S. Pharmaceutical company GSK took Flovent off the shelves January 1st and replaced it with an identical generic version. Ahead of the switch, the company said this would help provide patients with potentially lower costs, but that hasn't necessarily been the case. Some insurance companies don't cover the generic version, while alternatives might not work for certain children or they can be hard to find. Flovent and its generic version reduce inflammation in the airways of children that are at risk of having a flare-up or asthma attack. And isolation may no longer be necessary if you have COVID-19 and have been fever-free for 24 hours with mild or improving symptoms. That's according to the Washington Post, which reports that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is expected to ease COVID-19 guidance this spring. This planned shift was reportedly discussed in a briefing with state health officials last week. Since 2021, the agency has said people should isolate for at least 5 days after a positive test, then continue to mask. The updated guidance would bring COVID-19 in line with guidance for other respiratory viruses, such as the flu. And do you feel safe talking about mental health at work? A recent survey found that most employees think it's okay, but still don't feel safe talking about what troubles them. The National Alliance on Mental Illness polled 2,000 working adults in the U.S. 74% said it's okay to discuss mental health concerns at work, but only 58% said they would feel comfortable doing so. The most common reasons employees cited for feeling uncomfortable were stigma or judgment, no one else talking about their mental health, and not wanting to seem weak. The poll also found that a majority of employees say direct managers, human resources, and senior leaders are responsible for helping employees feel comfortable discussing mental health at work. 4 in 5 people said mental health training would be a positive for workplace culture, but only half said their employers offer it. In Virginia, there's a new bill making the rounds in the General Assembly that would require hazing prevention education in high schools. The legislation is being heavily supported by the family of Adam Oakes. He is the Virginia Commonwealth University freshman who died in 2021 from alcohol poisoning while pledging a fraternity. Desiree Montilla explains more about what this means to Adam's family.
If Adam had received the proper research-based hazing prevention education, he would still be alive today.
On February 5th, Eric Oakes shared his support of a bill to lawmakers, which would require hazing prevention education in high school, a lesson he believes could have prevented the death of his son, Adam Oakes, back in 2021.
There were 11 young men indicted in Adam's death who were all products of the Virginia public school system. I'll double down on my previous statement and say, I feel confident had those 11 young men received the proper research-based hazing prevention education in Virginia's public school system, At least one of them would have known to call 911 for help that night.
Senate Bill 379 and a companion bill in the House would require a research-based hazing prevention curriculum to be taught to 9th or 10th graders as part of their physical and health education.
Bullying and hazing starts well before college, and we want to make sure that students are equipped to understand, to identify it.
Senator Jennifer Boysko, the chief patron of the Senate bill, believes this piece of legislation is a key to warn students about the dangers of hazing.
Having access to education to understand, to identify what hazing is, and helping to also educate kids so that they don't start it in the first place, I think are really valuable tools for a student at any age.
A measure Adam Oak's cousin Courtney White believes can save lives.
Please help us ensure no other student in Virginia goes through what Adam did.
The Senate unanimously passed this bill on February 6, and the companion bill in the House is set to be heard. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we've got ourselves a pretty decent start to our Valentine's Day. We also, of course, have the Chiefs Victory Parade today in Kansas City. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Got some action last night.
Heroes and Icons, KOAM TV, channel 7.4.
Right now at 5:30, love blooms in Joplin as some of the city's florists get ready for Valentine's Day.
And we've got ourselves a relatively decent start to Valentine's Day. It's going to be warm, it's going to be breezy, and we got some changes later on. We'll talk about all that in the forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, the Creative Learning Alliance in Joplin prepares a time capsule to be buried during the April solar eclipse.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning, 4 states, and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. The time now is 5:30 a.m. I'm Caitlin O'Shaughnessy.
Chris Warner, it is Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is.
I've got some shopping to do on. If only I could see, as they say, raise your hands. How many of you husbands or boyfriends out there are shopping today?
Right?
Yeah.
Get those flowers in.
Because we discussed this yesterday, at least with my wife. I can't hide anything from her. She knows all the hiding spots. If I would have bought anything early, she would have found it. So I've got to wait until the day of.
All right.
That's just the way it has to work. So hopefully we can find a few good deals out there. And for those of you who are single, or maybe this is how you're going to spend your Valentine's Day, the Chiefs Parade is today.
Hey, we're all looking forward to that. We have some reporters that'll be up there.
Yes,
so
we do.
A lot of action happening.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And our forecast is going to cooperate, although it's going to be a bit breezy. So fellas, hold on to those gifts out there. Let's take a quick look outside. This is the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin, looking back to the north. And it's looking pretty good out there. We got a bit of a mild start comparatively. Remember, we should be roughly in the mid to upper 20s. For the most part, we are in the mid to upper 30s. So we're about 10 degrees above normal. There are some low 30s out there, but all in all, not a bad start to the day. However, the winds are going to increase later today, and then they're really going to pick up later this evening. South breeze 5 to 10, 38 and clear when the kids get on the bus. Breezy when that bus brings them home for those that have a full day of school. I know some kids don't. But for those that do, low 60s, breezy again, south winds gusting upwards of 25. Later this evening and overnight, they could gust upwards of 40 to 45 miles an hour, so do keep that in mind. But for Valentine's Day, whether you're taking them out to lunch or maybe dinner, it's looking pretty good. Highs today, we're talking low to mid 60s, maybe even some upper 60s. It's going to be sunny and, again, breezy out there, so a beautiful day to spend some time with your loved one, or to spend some time, maybe move the TV outside and watch the Kansas City Chiefs Parade outdoors. We do, again, have some changes on the way. That does include the possibility of at least a brief wintry mix. We'll talk about that in the full forecast a little later. Caitlin?
Thanks, Chris. Well, yesterday was Mardi Gras, the day before many Christian denominations begin the season of Lent. A local nursing home is celebrating with the help of furry friends. Residents at St. Luke's Assisted Living Facility in Carthage enjoy activities such as bingo and socializing. On this Fat Tuesday, things are more festive. Instead of a band and floats, it's cute furry friends passing out licks and beads.
Kathy comes up with the best ideas, We are having Remy's Dog Academy from Joplin come. They are several dogs dressed up in costumes, and we're going to parade around the facility to make the residents smile today for Mardi Gras.
And this is the first year that St. Luke's has celebrated Mardi Gras this way. By the way, Lent ends with Easter, which falls on March 31st this year. And there will be a visible solar eclipse in April, and the Creative Learning Alliance is already preparing. Yesterday, the Alliance packed a time capsule aiming to capture the current spirit of our region, the state of Missouri, and our country. That time capsule will be buried during the Alliance's Solar-bration Eclipse Festival.
The kids decided they wanted to build it themselves, and they had some pretty lofty ideas about metal and marble, but what we finally narrowed down to was wood, because that's something we can all accomplish together. And since we're not going to bury it underground, we'll be able to manage it over the years and it won't deteriorate.
Well, probably when we brought in our little mini time capsules, and we got to show everyone what we wanted to put in there.
What'd you have?
I had a whole bunch of pictures of technology and my phone in there.
That means when you have something to say, you pick up the microphone and say it, right?
The capsule will remain buried until the next solar eclipse is visible in the United States in 2044. The Joplin Library is focusing less on romance and more on friendship this Valentine's Day. They partnered with Coley's Cookies to host a Palentine's Cookie Workshop. Folks were able to stop by and learn how to decorate cookies like a pro.
Well, we wanted to do something fun in February for Valentine's Day, and people like cookies, and it seems that decorating cookies is something that's become more popular, more trendy, and people are more curious about it.
We decided to come just as an early Valentine's Day thing that we could do together as a couple, and it's been so much fun learning how to decorate a cookie.
All the materials and equipment were provided for free, including the heart-shaped cookies attendees decorated. Some flower shops in Joplin rose to the occasion to get ready for Valentine's Day. Flower shop owners and employees started planning for their busiest day of the year back in December. This week, leading to the special occasion, some flower shops worked extra hours and had extra staff to accommodate the hundreds of orders and deliveries.
You cannot create the flower arrangements too early, because then the roses will all be fully open. You know, we want to make sure that the recipients will be able to enjoy those flowers for as long as possible.
We take a lot of preparation in the back end, but we also know that as soon as the day hits, we would like it to go smooth, and for the most part it does, but there's going to be hiccups. People are not going to be home. Sometimes the flowers that we get in from the farms may not be in the condition we want them, so we'll have to make adjustments.
The flower shops also said clients might see flower prices a little bit higher than last year. According to them, red roses are the most popular flowers on Valentine's Day. 20 teams yesterday took part in the Southeast Kansas Youth Basketball and Cheer event. The event, hosted by Special Olympics Kansas, featured a cheer competition and basketball competition. For Special Olympics officials, the event served as another way to spread a lot of joy.
Honestly, it makes me so happy because seeing their reaction of making a basket or making that pass to one of their teammates, it just excites them and it excites everyone in the crowd, and I think it just brings everyone joy and everyone gets excited for them.
Special Olympics Kansas has fun events all year round, and they always welcome volunteers. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. At least 9 workers are trapped after a landslide hit a gold mine in Turkey Tuesday afternoon. Plus, the Senate approved a $95 billion foreign aid plan for Israel and Ukraine. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
News is sponsored by Aaron Sachs and Associates, proud partner of Travis Kelce and his foundation, 87 and running.
Topping World Watch, it's pancakes galore in the English town of Olney, where the annual Pancake Day race takes place. It's the 75th year of Tuesday's race, which women and children take part of. Women dress up in aprons and headscarves with a pancake in their pan ready to run. They're required to flip it once at the start and again at the end of the 415-yard race. This year, women from Kansas even made the trek to the United Kingdom to participate. The pancakes are traditionally crepe-like and eaten on Shrove Tuesday, the day before Lent begins. The work of artist and activist Yoko Ono will be on display in England. The new retrospective, titled Yoko Ono, Music of the Mind, explores the artist's work over the last 70 years. The exhibit, featured at the Tate Modern in London, will showcase over 200 artworks from the soon-to-be 91-year-old artist, including scores, instruction pieces, music, film, and photography, tracing her work from the 1950s to present day. Notre Dame is one step closer to welcoming back tourists. Scaffolding is removed from the cathedral's top Tuesday, revealing a new spire decorated with a golden rooster and a cross. The golden rooster features phoenix wings, a symbol of the cathedral's rise from the ashes. Notre Dame has been under reconstruction ever since its devastating fire in 2019. It's slated to reopen at the end of this year, December 8th. Two protesters in Italy targeted a well-known art piece in order to garner attention for recent climate issues in their country. The environmental protesters stood side by side in front of the Birth of Venus at the Uffizi's Gallery in Florence. They placed materials on the painting's glass protection, which caused no damage and were removed with ease. One protester was translating the other's words into English, expressing that he doesn't care if he will be put in jail. His message needs to be heard. And at least 9 workers are trapped after a landslide hit a gold mine in Turkey Tuesday afternoon. 400 search and rescue officials and staff from nearby provinces were brought in to help search copper mine for the workers. Turkey has a history of coal mine safety issues, the largest disaster claiming the lives of over 300 people in 2014 in western Turkey. The most recent was 2 years ago. An explosion at a mine on the Black Sea killed 41 workers. And the Senate approved a $95 billion foreign aid plan for Israel and Ukraine. It does not include funding to address the southern border crisis here in this country. The measure's prospects in the House are uncertain, and senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram has the story.
A Capitol Hill all-nighter.
How many got more than 3 hours sleep? Raise your hands.
The Senate passing $95 billion in foreign aid for Ukraine and Israel just before the crack of dawn.
This is ridiculous, and this is ultimately, in my view, a farce.
Conservatives in both chambers fuming.
I've never seen the nursing home known as the United States Senate work harder than when it comes to spending the American people's money for foreign wars.
A robust supermajority greenlighting the aid 70 to 29. More than $60 billion of the money destined for Ukraine.
Today, we make Vladimir Putin regret the day he questioned America's resolve.
22 Senate Republicans voted yes, close to half of the GOP conference. But conservatives are livid the measure doesn't tackle the border.
This bill gives the finger to all of America. This bill is Ukraine first, America last.
Only 3 senators aligned with the Democrats voted no. Some on the left furious the package aids Israel.
I cannot send more taxpayer dollars to support Prime Minister Netanyahu's continued bombardment in the wholesale destruction of Gaza.
The big Senate vote applies pressure on the House to pass the plan. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is open to bypassing Speaker Mike Johnson, putting the bill on the floor without his blessing.
I certainly oppose it, and I hope that it would not be considered.
Johnson is against the bill because it doesn't guard the border. But unlike the border bill last week, Johnson never declared this, quote, dead on arrival.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Are you or a family member in need of care in the home? Phoenix provides. We look forward to getting to know you. Reach out today.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 5:46 now on this Wednesday morning here in the 4 states, taking a live look at our camera on top of the Cordell Complex downtown Joplin. We got a bit of a breeze, we've got clear skies, and we have, comparatively, when we look at norms for this time of year, a mild start to the day. 20th and range line, MoDOT camera there, looking pretty good as well as we get this day underway, but we're going to see winds really start to pick up as we head through the morning and into the afternoon. They're going to be out of the south, gusting upwards of 25 25, potentially 30 miles an hour. And then we go later in the evening, we really start to see these winds ramp up late this evening and into the overnight hours, where they could reach gusts from 40, potentially as high as 45 miles an hour. So a very breezy night for us. When we start our Thursday, it will also still be quite breezy, winds out of the southwest, but then we get a system that's going to start to move closer to us, and these winds will shift out of the northeast. But the good news is, at least they will start to calm down as we head through the day on Thursday. Right now in Joplin, 39, clear skies, feels like 34 with that south breeze at about 7 miles an hour. Temperatures around the region for the most part mid-upper 30s. We do have some low 30s out there, but those mid-upper 30s are putting us about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. So that's why we say comparatively it's a mild start, but I know the 30s are still cold. It's still chilly out there. And that's how we're going to get our day started. Sunny, breezy, mid-50s by late morning, so a very nice day ahead of us as we've got highs low to mid 60s. Some of us, especially out west, could even reach the upper 60s today. So a very mild day when we should be in the mid to upper 40s. So we're about 20 degrees warmer than where we should be out there. And again, sunny and breezy. We'll have a few clouds here and there as we go through the evening. Again, those winds will really start to ramp up later tonight, but we still stay mild comparatively as we go back into the low to mid 40s. However, we have some changes on the way, temperature-wise and precip-wise, as we head into our Friday. We're going to start to see early Friday morning the opportunity for some showers, and temperatures we're going to hit early highs on Friday are going to fall as we head through the morning, and then we could see at least a brief period of a wintry mix, maybe some light snow, especially in the northern half of our area out there. So say from Pittsburgh to Lamar and points north, could see some snow. Now at this point, we're not anticipating a lot of snow, and it'll clear out by late morning and into the early afternoon, but we could still have some slick spots out there and see maybe a dusting, couple of inches here and there with that snow as we head into our Friday. So what does that mean for temperatures? Well, tomorrow it's a little cooler. We're going to be in the mid 50s, low 40s, Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be, again, that wintry mix possible in the morning. And some of us may only see the rain, but some, again, could see a bit of a mix, maybe some light snow. Still chilly on Sunday, and then we head into the start of next week. We warm back up, upper 50s, 60s, upper 50s. I am so sorry. I felt that there's nothing I can do about it. With the possibility of some showers for us next Thursday. That's Check Your Forecast. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
A Michigan man found a love letter that is standing the test of time, written more than a half-century ago. He found the letter in a toolbox, and it was written by an Army veteran to the love of his life. Now the hunt is on to find the couple or their surviving relatives. Jamie Sherrod has more from Grand Rapids.
It's almost like a true love story. People just don't write things like that nowadays. It's almost like poetry.
Back in 2017, Rick Trojanowski bought this toolbox at a farm auction. But what he found inside a couple of years later was like a scene out of a movie. A love letter written 70 years ago, addressed to Mary Lee Cribbs here in Grand Rapids, from Corporal Irving Fleming.
1953.
Wow.
So it's pretty old. San Francisco, California. And this is where Irwin was actually stationed at, evidently.
The letter, a tale of two hearts separated by distance, as Corporal Fleming served in the Army.
I haven't wrote you a letter in such a long time. And the letter goes on and on.
In it, Corporal Fleming revealed he hadn't heard from Mary in 5 months after the two had a disagreement. He apologized profusely and expressed his unyielding love to Mary, writing in part, "Mary, I need you so very much, and I know that I'll always love you."
Yeah, I kind of read through it, kind of a love letter and things and that, and it was just kind of really interesting.
Corporal Fleming also wrote how slow his time in the Army was going without hearing from Mary, and shared when he returned home in 7 months, it would be the happiest day in his life. He wrapped up the letter asking Mary something he's asked before, and apparently she's previously agreed to marry him once he returned home, telling Mary he loves her with everything he's got.
I did try to do a little research through Facebook to try to locate some of the people in that involved with it.
Rick has tried to find the person this belongs to or their relatives, but hasn't had any luck. He's hoping this story will help get this long-lost love letter into the right hands.
I really don't have any use for it, and if we can find the people it belongs to or the kids, I think it'd be really neat for them.
Well, that is just the most romantic thing I've ever heard. I hope that they find Mary or their children. We'll be right back with more news after this.
Here, here. BOGO for $1 is here. Grab a perfectly seasoned
and dangerous. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
Taking in the view from above, today is National Ferris Wheel Day. From carnivals to fairs to amusement parks, there's no mistaking a Ferris wheel when you see one. But have you ever wondered where the name comes from? They're named after George Washington Gale Ferris, Jr., who invented the Ferris wheel in Chicago in 1893. The 200-foot diameter wheel was a huge success, but was later demolished for scrap metal after Ferris died. While the original is gone, the Ferris wheel lives on. Post a picture of your favorite on social media with the hashtag National Ferris Wheel Day. And love is in the air. It's Valentine's Day. It's not just a holiday for significant others. You can show affection to friends, family, and of course, pets. Valentine's Day is believed to have started long ago, derived from the feast for the patron saint Valentine. Historians tell the story of one saint who married couples in secret to prevent men from going to war. In the 1400s, the day became associated with romance. People started writing letters and poems declaring their love and calling them Valentines. Today, some 180 million cards are exchanged each year, and florists ready nearly 2 million roses for the day. The average person is expected to spend more than $100 showering their loved ones with gifts.
Well, unfortunately, I've got $25 in my wallet, and that's how much I have to shower my loved one with gifts, but she loves it anyway, and she gave me some gummy bears. I love gummy candy, so that was a great early Valentine's Day gift. And Mother Nature giving us her own gift for today. Sunny skies, warm out there, mid-50s by late morning. South winds, though, gusting upwards of 25 miles an hour today, so hold on to those Valentines. You don't want them blown away. As we go low, mid-60s, some of us maybe even the upper 60s out there. Now winds tonight, late this evening into the overnight, are going to pick up out of the south, gusting occasionally 40-45 miles an hour. So be aware of that if you're doing any late night traveling out there. And we're going to be mild again comparatively, as we should be in the mid to upper 20s. We're going to be in the low to mid 40s tonight for our lows. As we head into our Thursday, it's a little cooler, partly cloudy, mid 50s, and then much cooler Friday and Saturday. In fact, just straight up colder out there because we'll be below normal. And we could see a wintry mix Friday morning. Not expecting much out of it, but just a wintry mix. Some of us may just see the rain showers, and then we'll start to warm up as we head back into next week. Let's check your forecast. Got another hour of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
At Bath Naylor and Frisco Funeral Home, we own and operate our own crematory. Call to prearrange today.